Yo. What is good, guys? How's it going? How is everyone doing? Can you hear me? I think you can. Hope everyone's doing well. How's it going, guys? Ready to make some fucking money? Woo! How is it, guys? It's nice to see us. It's nice to be here again. Hope you like the new background, stuff like that. If you didn't see me yesterday, who's ready to catch another fucking W in the bag? If you've seen yesterday's trade, we did hit take profit. I had to close a little bit manually because we did literally just wick profit, but we did take profit. We're looking at another clean setup right now. I think we should be good to go. If I'm not mistaken, we do have... Oh, how's it going? We can see it. Let's go, guys. How's it going? Ready to make some money? Right then, let's get into it, shall we? So, yesterday we completely forgot to do the fundamentals, and that is not going to be a mistake we make twice, okay? So, fundamentally, you know, if you've seen the market outlook, you'll know exactly what we were expecting today, but we do have the 730 Swiss franc CPI, which has been done, no issues at all. We do have news at 3 p.m. for the USD, so we do need to be a little bit careful with that. I do think we could be out of a trade by then, really, based on the setup that's occurring right now. I'm going to walk you through the price action very, very quickly. But yeah, 3 p.m. news, keep an eye out for that in about half an hour from now. Like the stream up, guys. Like the stream, all that shit. If you're new here, join my Discord. Watch this, guys. Watch this. We're going to catch another dub soon. I swear down. Now, let's go on to the 4 hour. So, we're on the 4 hour on GJ at the moment, yeah? If you watched the market outlook yesterday, which you should have, it's free. It's on YouTube. There it is. I spoke about price coming back up to here, okay? So, what's actually happened is we've created a fair value gap. And this is what I was talking about here, okay? So, I think we did the market outlook around about 8 o'clock. I think it was 8 o'clock-ish. There was a little issue with that. It was just my face cam. I don't know what the fuck happened there. I recorded it twice, both times with the face cam, and didn't realize. Won't happen again, guys. But I was talking about price coming back up, which did happen for for a few candles. We had like 4 candles in a row of price going up. How's it going, guys? Hi, Driss. Hi, Big Deeds. Hi, Abby. How's it going? Magic City Trader. How is it going? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, we were talking about price going back up, which did happen. And then in the Discord, I gave you an update this morning about 8:30 a.m. GMT. I'm going to drag my Discord just across the screen now. I think if I just... Okay, it's not working. Right, here we go. I'm just going to drag my Discord across the screen and show you exactly what I was talking about this morning. We haven't got the setup yet, I can tell, because once we cross this liquidity, we can look for buys. That's basically the sum of it. Or the summary of it. But what I'm looking at here, what we were looking at yesterday, just let me drag my Discord across the screen. There we go. Right, so right here, you can see exactly what I was talking about. So this was the price action this morning, okay? 8:30 a.m. when I woke up. This was the price action that I seen. We did form this fair value gap right here, which is this one. Right here, you can see that there, that we have respected. Now, I said, if this 4 hour creates an IFVG, we are going up. What happened? We did not create an IFVG. We, in fact, respected the fair value gap. So we were going to go down. I knew this was going to happen if we didn't form this. You know how it goes. I've spoke about this multiple times. We take ERL, come to IRL, either disrespect it and continue to the other side, or we respect and continue like that. But yeah, that's it. Someone's just posted their trades in there. As you can see, easy dubs caught on GBP JPY and GBP USD in the Discord this morning, literally just then. But what we're focusing on right now is the trade that we are looking at today, okay? So now we're just going to break it down very quickly, okay? So we got the 4 hour, we got the fair value gap respected. We're targeting ERL over here. Looks like we're coming to that now. Once we take ERL, we're basically looking to target IRL, and that's literally the sum of it, really. So go down to the 5 minutes, look for some nice internal AMD structure, and you can see what's going on a little bit more clearly now. So basically, what we're looking at is a manipulation to the downside to take out this ERL over here, which is this low right here to the pip, this over here. We take that out, and then we can look for a reversal back up to this fair value gap over here. This fair value gap is the reason, the reason we're targeting this fair value gap is because it's the closest one we haven't yet respected. You know how price works. We have closed out the range now, but I'm looking for price to take this liquidity out first. Once we take this liquidity out, we can take safe buys up to the top, up to this fair value gap over here. Good morning, Humphrey. How you doing? Or Humphreys, how you doing? But yeah, right now we're in the manipulation phase on the 5-minute time frame. As you can see, we're looking to take ERL. We take ERL, do a candlestick pattern, whatever we do, do a little dance. Then we go all the way up to IRL, which is this fair value gap up here. So potentially we're looking at something along these lines. If I just drag the order out now, you can see something like this. We'll obviously target the premium zone of this bearish fair value gap. That's the best place to look to exit the buy, sorry. So yeah, near enough something along these lines. Now we're going to have our stop loss a little bit just below the low we form over here. And hopefully if we form an imbalance on the way back up, we can keep our stop loss just below that. Because, you know, we don't want to be liquidity here. But hey, Rodrigo, how's it going? So this is what we're looking at, guys. We've got a clear accumulation right here of orders, of liquidity. We're looking to take out this low over here, come to this ERL over here, which is this sell side liquidity on the hour, on the 4 hour. Take that out and then look for signs of a reversal. That'll be the manipulation phase moving down. As you can see, we're doing that right now. And then we target up here during the distribution phase of this mini AMD cycle. Textbook stuff, guys. It really is textbook stuff. So all we have to do now is literally just wait for price to do this. And then we're good to go, literally. It looks like we have took ERL now. So now what we need to do basically is wait for price to show signs of a reversal. And then we can get in for our buy position. It's literally as simple as that. Not much else to it, guys. But we need to see clear signs that price is going to reverse. Now, this is a very strong push down, just obviously because this is like a magnet for price, really. So now what we can do is basically look for price. Let me just take off my thing. Right. What we can do is look for price basically to consolidate, you know, have a little doji maybe, and then push up. And we'll have that basic morning star candlestick pattern. This is the candlestick pattern that we see near enough every single time we take a distribution trade. Hi, Oscar. How's it going? So all we need to do is wait for that basic setup, or maybe even, you know, just like a tweezer bottom, really, with 2 bottom wicks here, and then a push up with a bottom wick as well. Then we could even get in on that. All we need to see really is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a candlestick pattern. Once we see that candlestick pattern, we can look at taking buys. We're going to look at targeting this range. I'm going to let you know when I'm in the trade. We want to be very careful with this. It looks like it's pushing down, you know, very quickly. But we will see how it goes. Now, we have took ERL with due a bullish retracement, with due a retracement back to IRL. If we respect this IRL, then we will continue down. If we disrespect this IRL, then we will continue up to this daily. Oh no, this is the 4 hour. We're looking at the daily up here. But yeah, guys, this is literally it. Like the stream if you're hyped for this trade. If you're going to take this trade with me, like the stream. If you're happy, like the stream. I'm live every single day, 2:30 p.m. GMT. Keep an eye out for that. But we're going to move on to Bitcoin right now whilst we see this. So we can give it, you know, it's going to take 5 minutes or so to set this up. Hi, Dan. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, all we really need to do now is just wait like 5 minutes, and then price will hopefully give us our setup. So we can just move on to Bitcoin and stuff like that. So on Bitcoin, I'm going to move up a few time frames on Bitcoin. You can see a high time frame accumulation right here. We did have this AMD playing out over here. I think I spoke about this, didn't I, guys? I literally said this in the last stream as it was playing out yesterday. I did say, if we invert this fair value gap, this one right here to the left-hand side, if we invert this, we're going to continue up, probably take this out before continuing down. So we took, let me just walk you through this. Let's just go back a few more steps. We take ERL in this candle over here. We take this liquidity over here. Then we go to the upside, invert this fair value gap. And there's two things we can do once we take ERL. We either go to IRL, which is a fair value gap, or we basically disrespect it. So in this case, we didn't respect it. We went straight through it, completely disrespecting it. And in that case, you then target the other side of ERL. Reminder, ERLs are highs and lows of the moves. So if this is the move, we've got the high here, we've got the high up here, we've got the low down here, and the low over here from this move as well. So we take ERL, which is this low over here, Then we look for price to reverse after consolidating. We consolidate, reverse, head up to here, then take this out. After disrespecting this IRL, we target the other side of the ERL, which is the high. We take the high out very clearly, then come to this imbalance over here, respect the imbalance, and then move down in the distribution phase. I did say that this would probably be accumulation distribution, and I was wrong here, but I did say exactly how price was going to move. So yeah, that's that cycle played out. Straight after this distribution move, we did near enough instantly get another accumulation here, which looks like it's a higher time frame one, really, considering we're on the 15. Yeah, really is. We took this low out here. So what we'd want to see is a candlestick pattern now, and then we can look at targeting some form of imbalance. It may look like it could end up being accumulation distribution, considering we have an imbalance right here. If we invert this, then we can continue up. So you'd probably want to be careful of that. But let's see what's going on GJ. It looks like it's going down a little bit further, I think. Yeah, we're pushing back up. We're pushing back up. So we can look at entering if this closes nicely. If we do form a fair value gap, though, we are going to wait for price to invert that. That'll be a very nice setup. So if this closes around about here, that's perfectly fine, guys. Like, that's probably great. That's probably what we want to see, to be honest with you. So if we form that fair value gap here, we then wait for price to invert this, and then we can continue to the other side. It's literally what I've just said on Bitcoin can happen here if we invert this fair value gap, if we even form the fair value gap. We've got 2.5 minutes left. We'll see how that goes. Going back to Bitcoin, exactly what I was talking about. We got an accumulation on the 5 minute, though, followed by a distribution on the 5 minute, it looks like. But on the 1 hour, what I'm talking about here is the exact same setup near enough. We take ERL, and then if we invert this IRL, then we'll obviously continue to the other side, which is this high up here. Potentially this high up here as well. But that's what's going on Bitcoin. I'm just going to get rid of all this and just redraw that very quickly. It just makes a little bit more sense then. So if we get that accumulation here, then we got a manipulation to the downside, taking out that liquidity to the left-hand side, which is the ERL. Now we're looking at targeting the IRL, which could be this fair value gap here before continuing down, and that will be an accumulation distribution move. Or what we can do is basically invert this, disrespect this, as I've just spoke about, and target the other ERL, which can be this high up here, or even this high over here. Literally as simple as that, guys. Now, GJ looks like it's doing its thing. I think it's just kind of chilling now. This may be a fair value gap forming on the 5. We've still got a couple minutes left. Let's just see how this fair value gap forms. Okay, so yeah, we are forming a fair value gap here. It looks like we've got a minute and a half left. Let's see how this goes, guys. But how many confirmation reversals do you use apart from 2 bottom ones? Well, I use near enough like 3 or 4, maybe 4, near enough 3 every single time. For my trades, it's obviously that liquidity, the fair value gap being respected, a candlestick pattern, and then sometimes obviously we'll have a bias. That's just a guaranteed thing anyway. That doesn't really count as a confluence. That's the bias. And then we'll have obviously the manipulation for that fair value gap, for that liquidity sweep. So I wait for a liquidity sweep. I wait for a fair value gap to be respected or an IFVG to be formed, and then we can look at taking trades. It depends as well. If we respect the fair value gap, we look for candlestick patterns. Like, let's say we were coming into a fair value gap over here, right? Yeah. Let's say we came into this one. Let's say this was some 1 hour fair value gap. We'd look for price to form a candlestick pattern, which shows signs that it's going to respect this fair value gap. But the way you trade not imbalances, the IFVGs is the way you trade IFVGs is basically, it's a very quick, impulsive move. So when we create an IFVG, you wouldn't look for a candlestick pattern. That is the confluence. So then you obviously take that buy, just like that. So it kind of depends, but near enough 3. How many is 3? Hi, Bill. How's it going? Rodrigo, yes, that is correct. There is a fair value gap up here, which we would be looking to come to if we close like this in the next 15 minutes. That's correct. Right, so we've got this fair value gap over here now, guys. This is the perfect setup now. This has just became the perfect setup. What we need to see now is basically price disrespecting this, and we'd look to enter around about here. And then we have 2 liquidity zones before our stop loss, which is perfect. So, yeah, if we basically disrespect this fair value gap and close above it, we can now look for buys. But until then, we just kind of got to sit on our hands and wait, guys. This is where the patience comes into the markets. But yeah, like up the stream and that, guys. If you're hyped, like up the stream. Live every single day, doing the exact same thing as I am right now at 2:30 p.m. GMT, which is the start of New York session. Looks like we might be coming up to basically test this imbalance now. Ignore me with my juice. But if we disrespect this fair value gap, we will continue to the upside. And that's when we'll get in for our entry. Obviously, we do have to wait for the close on this as well. We can't just take a buy when it starts trying to wick out the fair value gap. That's just noob shit. But yeah, if we push up, close outside up here, I'm going to draw a little line to remind you. So if we close around about here in the next few candles, we can do this trade. Now, obviously, as you know, trading IFVGs, the best time to trade them is straight after liquidity sweeps and when they form in like 6 candles or less. So really what we'd want to see is a very efficient move back up here, inversing this fair value gap. We don't want to see is this. If we start consolidating around here, or maybe even pushing down first and then trying to do this, like that's clear AMD there. But if we start messing around and, you know, it's like 5, 6, 7, 8 candles until we actually invert this, we're not going to trade that, as it's like not really as reliable as it should be. So yeah, guys, keep an eye out for this. In the next few minutes, we are looking to invert this imbalance and then continue to the upside. We're due a retracement too. We are due a retracement too. So that makes perfect sense as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Bitcoin, where you're chatting. Looks like that's pushing up still as well. Finish that internal AMD cycle. As you can see, there's a very clear accumulation right here. And then this, and then this. Not really much else to it. It's just finished that cycle. We are looking at a higher time frame cycle on this time frame, on Bitcoin as well. We'll see how that plays out. GJ looks like it's pushing up now. Let's see how this goes. We've got 2 minutes left on this. Hopefully we can disrespect this. If we respect this, then it's probably done. It's probably game over for this setup, guys. But if we disrespect it, we can now look for buys and take that buying position. Let's see how it goes. We've got 2 minutes left. We are looking to push straight through in this candle, really. We really just want to push straight through. No messing around like this. It looks like we are trying to respect it now. Let me just draw a little purple line in here to see if we're in the premium or discount zone of this imbalance. Still in the discount, so we're not really guaranteed to respect it yet, but we'll see how it goes. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left, guys. Let's see how it goes. Looking to invert this fair value gap in this candle by the next close in the next 1 minute, which does not look very probable right now. It looks like we are respecting it. We do have a few candles left, though. We are really only like 1 or 2 candles into this, so we still have like 3, 4, 5 candles before we can start invalidating this whole idea of an IFVG being formed. So yeah, like up the stream, guys. Like up the stream. Join the free Discord, by the way, if you haven't already. There's a free course in here which teaches you near enough exactly how to trade like me, like this. There's obviously the fast track trading mentorship, then there's the Discord, and there's a few liquidity documents out now as well. On my recent post, if it looks like we're respecting this, guys, but on my recent post on my Instagram, you know, it's the same as my YouTube tag, but on my Instagram, basically just go and comment liquidity underneath my recent post, and you will receive a liquidity document teaching you how to trade ERL and IRL, just like me. But it looks like we're respecting this imbalance now, guys, which isn't the best sign. We're going to give it a few more candles, see how it goes. We've got 10 minutes left on the hourly. I think, as Rodrigo just said, who, if you don't know who Rodrigo is, guys, he is Chill Music. That's his tag. As Rodrigo just said, basically, we have that hourly fair value gap. If we close, basically validating that fair value gap around about here, which will be a few candles from now, on the 5-minute time frame, we can then actually trade coming into that fair value gap. Does that make sense, guys? So let's say hypothetically this candle's closed here. We then have a valid 1 hour fair value gap for us to trade right into. Okay. So we'll see how it goes. We've got 2 candles left before that could potentially happen. But yeah, the only issue is here, guys, we do have no bottom wick on the open of the bullish candle here on the 5 minute. So we could expect price to flip and make that at some point. That's an issue. There we go. We've just flipped and made it as I was talking about it. But yeah, there we are. We want to see an IFVG formed off of this fair value gap we just formed if we're going to take any trades. Flipped again, looking good. Let's see if we can invert this now. But yeah, you're just seeing how price forms on every candle there, guys. We opened like here, just instantly made the high with no bottom wick. Then we came down and made the bottom wick, which is so we accumulated on a lower time frame. We then manipulated on the open, making the high, then made the low, and now we've come back up, and it looks like we're about to close around about here, maybe. We've got 3 minutes left. It could still obviously change, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like we're pushing down here, guys. This is not the best thing at all. We got to wait for this IFVG to be formed if we're going to take any positions whatsoever. Halfway through this 5 minute. Not looking the best, I'm not going to lie, guys. Looking on Bitcoin, though, it looks like we are pushing up here to make the distribution on this cycle. Yeah, US news affects everything. Like every single pair really affects. It affects the USD quite highly, which then floats down and then causes a move on the GBP, the yen, the euro, and stuff like that. So it affects near enough every single pair. GBP is GBP JPY is probably one of the most volatile pairs there is, I'd say. On average, it moves like 250 pips, I think it is. There's like an average like pip move calculator thing on Baby Pips, if you've heard of that website. And basically, GBP JPY is the top of that with a 250 pip move on average per session. Now that can obviously be a 250 pip range consolidation. It can be a 50 pip range consolidation like this, like 50 pips, 100 pips, 150, 250. But it does move typically the most out of every pair. And it's also affected by the US news, yes. It's affected by everything, really. Every red folder news, really. Swiss franc, GBP, Euro, USD. Obviously the yen, sometimes the AUD as well. Come on, guys. We're looking to invert this fair value gap here. We're looking to make an IFVG here on this fair value gap. If we're going to look at taking any positions, we need to see this fair value gap disrespected in the next like 2 candles. We got 5 minutes left on the hourly. If we do form an IFVG in the new hour, so in like 10 minutes, that'll be a great setup as well, because then we'll be coming in to respect this hourly fair value gap, which is these 2 red lines here. This is the fair value gap on the hour time frame that still needs to close valid. If this hour closes how it is right now, then we will have a valid fair value gap on the hourly on this on GBP JPY, which we can then use as a confluence for our target, because then obviously price will basically be pulled towards that IRL, the higher time frame IRL, and then we can easily catch a dub there. But we got to see this fair value gap inversed in the next like 3 or 4 candles, really. 6 is typically the limit. 6 or 7 is typically the limit. And we're on to our 4th candle now, really. 3rd, 4th. So we want to do it in the next few candles, really. We don't have to do it this candle. I think if we do it in the next candle, we've just opened the new one. If we do it in the next candle, that'll probably be a higher probability setup. But we'll see how it goes. This candle could also give us that candlestick pattern that we need, which is the Morningstar candlestick pattern, as Joe was asking me. But we'll see how it goes now, guys, okay? Like up the stream, all that stuff. We're going to see how it goes now. Hopefully we can form an IFVG soon. If we form an IFVG, we can take the buy position, as I've said hundreds of times by now. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Gold. What's gold doing? Right, so we have this on gold. Very quickly, I'm just going to analyze gold whilst we wait for that 5-minute candle to do its thing. We got to wait for the close, guys, so there's no real point in actually watching in between the opens and the closes. But nevertheless, we are. But we're moving on to gold right now. So we're looking at this manipulation here. We take out the ERL over here. Not this one. This one. If I just draw that out, you can see that pretty clearly now. We take the ERL here in the manipulation phase. And then, what did I say? What have I said like countless times in this stream alone, guys? Not about the IFVGs here. It kind of is. But also more about the candlestick pattern too. Look at this. So, we have an IFVG. We have a fair value gap formed right here during the liquidity sweep. So, we take liquidity, form a fair value gap, then form a candlestick pattern, then inverse the fair value gap, and then you can literally just take your buys off of this near enough. Now, you would have got took for liquidity here, so hindsight, I guess you would have got in here with the distribution move targeting up here. Literally as simple as that. But yeah, guys, literally on Bitcoin, as we're waiting for this GBP setup, literally look at Bitcoin. We had this 5-minute accumulation, 5-minute manipulation to the downside, taking out this low over here. What do we do once we take ERL? We target IRL. So we form a fair value gap, taking out the liquidity. That's the best time to form an IFVG. Then in like 4 candles, we invert this fair value gap. All good, all good. Happy I can help. Here we go, guys. We're going up now. We're going up. We got 2 minutes left. Let's see how it goes. We got to wait for the close if we're going to do anything here, guys. We got to wait for the close, but I'm going to start building up my position now. Give me 1 moment. Just got to put my phone on charge. Right, so what are we looking at here? What's the TP here, guys? 189.071. 189.071. We're going to target a little bit lower than that. We're going to target the middle, literally like the middle here. 189.050. We're just going to call it 050. Take stop loss. A little bit of an issue here. If we invert the fair value gap, if we create an IFVG, then we do have liquidity below here and below here, so we will be a little bit safe. I'm just going to give it a little bit more breathing room. We're going to go 188.122. Okay. So we've got to wait for the close on this now if we're going to do anything, okay? We've got to have a decent close too. It can't just be like a technical close. We've got to have a decent close. It can't just be like, ah, yes, we've technically closed outside here. We've got to have a decent close. Like right about where we are now is probably the best place to take an entry. We've got 1 minute left. We're going to see how this goes, guys. Come on. Almost there now. Like up the stream. Come on. Happy I can help, Joe. Happy you caught the move. Right, come on. There we are. 40 seconds left, guys. Come on. We've got to wait for the close. The close is probably the most important piece of this puzzle here. If we don't get the close, it invalidates the whole thing because we can just come back into the fair value gap and then continue down. We've got to have a decent close above if we're going to trade this move. Ah, fuck. There we are. Start rejecting. This is why you got to wait for the close, guys. We still got 30 seconds. We still got 20 seconds, sorry. Let's see how it goes. Come on. Let's see how it goes. Alright then. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, that's the news as well. We didn't get the close, guys, so I didn't take that. We've also formed a gap here. That was news. Almost forgot about that. There we are. See, we flipped to fill that gap. This is why you wait for the close, guys. And also news. But this is why you wait for the close. RIP to the guys who FOMO'd in here. We're probably going to go down now. We got that gap to fill. You've seen this play out yesterday as well with the 3 o'clock news. We did form a little gap here. So we can expect price to come back and fill this gap at some point, which makes the whole move invalidated now. We'll see how it goes. This is the 3 o'clock candle as well, so we technically could do it in a couple candles here. We're going to give it about 5-10 more minutes max to invert this fair value gap. If we don't do it in the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to write off this whole trade idea, and we're going to move on to the next one. But yeah, we got to wait for the close, guys. This was news. This whole move up, regardless of how high we go up now, it's completely unsustainable. Unless we go straight to take profit, then we haven't missed anything, because we've got a gap right here that we need to come back and fill at some point. And this is probably one of the most important points as well, guys. Do not FOMO into this trade. Just because you see it moving up does not mean you have to buy. It's not going to move up sustainably. Just because we've spent like 20 minutes waiting for this move to occur and it looks like we might be missing it, this move is unsustainable. This is where good practice comes in. If you take this exact trade every single time where we have a gap up and then you buy, you're going to get took out. You're going to get took out eventually, because those gaps up, they're gaps in them. We have to come back and fill those gaps if we're going to continue further. It's basically like a fair value gap that you can't see near enough. Think of it like that if you want. So if you're FOMO'd into this trade, it might play out, but over a long enough period, it will not play out in your favor. I've learned that the hard way. But yeah, it looks like although it might be looking like we missed the move, we have not missed the move yet, guys. We're probably going to come back and fill this gap at some point. If we fill this gap before we invert this fair value gap, then we can still take the trade, okay? I'm trying to explain this as simple as possible. But what we're looking for is the IFVG to form, yeah? Okay? We're waiting for that IFVG to form. If this candle forms an IFVG without coming down to this gap first, then we've got an IFVG, but we have the gap below it that we have to come back and fill. So the gap being there invalidates the entire trade, regardless of what happens next. We need to fill this gap first if we're going to do anything. And if, yeah, that's why you got to wait for the close there, Dan. But if we're going to take this trade, guys, we got to get rid of that gap. And then we've got to inverse the fair value gap for the first time after filling the gap. So if we do this, if we close above here, invalidates the trade. If we close the gap and then close up here in the same candle, invalidates the trade. What we need is a close down here, respecting this fair value gap, closing this gap on this candle, and then the next candle inverts the fair value gap. If we're going to take a trade, that's what we need to see, guys. It invalidates the whole trade if we inverse this fair value gap and leave the gap here, or fill the gap and then suppose if we fill the gap and then invert the candlestick, if we fill the gap and then invert the candle, fuck's sake, if we fill the gap and invert the fair value gap, then we can take the trade. But we got to wait for that to happen, guys. We got to wait for that to happen. Got 30 seconds left. Looks like we might even be respecting it on this candle. I was so close to entering this trade. I had everything set up. But you got to wait for the close, guys. And you got to wait for news as well. I forgot about that. Bit rusty. Bear with me. I had a bit of a break. But 20 seconds left. Let's see how we get on with this. Let's see if this was a loss avoided. I'm just going to drag this to the right so no one who joins thinks we're in a trade. There we go. Look at that, guys. We have respected the fair value gap, even off such a volatile piece of news. Now, let's just check the news very quickly. We need to fill this gap if we're going to do anything. It looks like we're pushing up here. We got the buy orders, like... let's see. Let's just refresh. Okay, so it's good. So we got news on our side. As long as we get the perfect setup, we have the fundamentals on our side here. We just got to fill this gap first, guys. We got to fill this gap first if we're going to do anything. this is the one thing contradicting our trade here, and it's probably one of the biggest pieces that we need on our side. We need this gap to be filled if we're going to take a trade. Come on, GJ. Like up the stream, by the way, guys. We need this gap to be filled if we're going to take the trade. Narrow escape for real. Also, guys, whilst we're waiting for this to set up, I'm going to talk about Christmas, okay? Now, this is obviously my first full year in teaching people how to trade. In previous years, when I've been trading, on my own, doing my own thing, I would take a 3-week break or 4-week break over Christmas, and that would be from the 20th up until like the 16th or something like that, of January, that is. But as a streamer, I wouldn't say streamer, but as someone who streams trading, it's a little bit different. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing trading on the 20th. No more live streams. You should be taking a break from the chart as well. And we're going to do a few backtesting sessions, okay? So instead of me going live at 1:30, we're just going to do like a few backtesting sessions. Nothing too, too harsh. It'll be like a few half-hour trades, backtesting. We're also going to be doing some live lectures as well for free on YouTube. So keep an eye out for those. That's going to be over the course of Christmas from the 20th up until New Year's. We're going to be taking 2 weeks off again from the streams, from trading, because from Christmas time, obviously it's just full of bank holidays and a lack of red folder news. Everyone's doing their thing, everyone's with family, everyone's on holiday, everyone's on leave. All the big banks, institutional traders, the people that work for the big banks are all on leave as well, most of them. So what I'd say is from the 20th, which falls on a Friday this week, or not this week, this month, this year, it falls on a Friday, the 20th of December. I would call that the end of the year for you. I'd call it the end of the year for me as well. And from there, we then backtest live. We do some live lectures and stuff like that. We just, do the fundamental boring things that you don't really want to be doing. But it's important you have a break from the charts, guys. It's very important you have a break. It's very important not to trade through Christmas as well. Very volatile. I got stung a few years ago, and I learned my lesson. Don't make the same mistakes I did. But yeah, we're going to be doing some live lectures based on ERL, IRL, all that stuff. We're going to be teaching you how to trade a little bit better for free on YouTube over the course of Christmas through to New Year's. And then probably around about the 5th of January, maybe just after, considering the elections and stuff going on, we're then going to come back to the charts. So from the 20th of December, there's going to be like a 3, maybe a 4-week break even, probably around about 3-week break from doing the streams again. I know I've just come back from a break from holiday. I know, don't kill me, but there's no point trading, guys. So it isn't like through Christmas, but it looks like we're disrespecting this imbalance, but we have not filled the gap. Now, you could have took the trade and been a little bit risky here if you wanted to. It's not really worth it, in my opinion. I'm probably just going to stay out. I am going to stay out. But yeah, guys, that invalidates the whole setup. Let's just check on Bitcoin really quickly. So, as I was talking about the fair value, not the fair value gap, here we go. See, look at this. Okay, look at this. What did I tell you? Like, you can rewind this stream, guys, if you don't believe me. Go back to about 20 minutes ago. What did I say? We've took ERL. If we invert IRL, this fair value gap here, we will continue up to take this ERL over here. Look at what we are doing. This is the distribution move of this AMD cycle. It's pretty, standard stuff, guys. I explain this multiple times on multiple different currencies, so it should be almost second nature to you that you see this now, this entire thing. We can even target this up here or this up here, but it's so simple, guys. Once you learn how to trade, it's like a skill for life. No one can take this from you, really. But yeah, looks like we're pushing up on GJ here. Let's just see how this 5 minute closed. Yeah, we did close up here. So now it invalidates the whole thing. I think the only way we could take a trade now is if we come down, fill this gap, then come back up and close above this imbalance in the same candle. That's the only way we could take this trade now, guys. It was looking good up until this gap formed, and then it just messed everything up. But yeah, the only way we can really catch this move now is if we come down here, fill this gap, and then close back above the fair value gap like that. That's the only way we can take this trade. So we're going to see how this 5 minute candle closes. Like up the stream if you didn't get caught in this trade, guys. Like up the stream if you didn't FOMO into this trade. I want to see if people FOMO'd in or not. If you FOMO'd in and got caught, it might play out. It might not, but it's bad practice either way. It's not really sustainable at all. Also, another thing, guys, if we're looking to try and catch this move at all, we've got to do it before we take this high. That's probably one of our targets, and that's one of the things that actually guarantees this move as well. Well, not guarantees, but, you know, it's like one of the confluences for this trade. So, you know, we got to wait for that too. If we come down, fill this gap, then come back up here in the same candle, before taking out this high, we can get in for a buy position. That's the only way we can get in for a buy position here, guys. Got to be very, very strict with your rules here. You got to follow your plan here, and you haven't got to be, you got to refrain from your FOMO and stuff like that. We're pushing back down here. I want to see price in the next 2 minutes push down, fill this gap, and then come back up. If we can do that, that'll be great. I'm just going to drag this across here so no one thinks we're in a trade still. Well, we weren't in a trade, but you know what I mean. Bitcoin is pushing, guys. Bitcoin is pushing. We are up positive for the day now. Bitcoin is pushing up. What did I say, guys? I literally called this. Like, I didn't take this, but I called this. I said this would happen. We are pushing up now. Looks like we're coming to take ERL over here. Once we do that, we don't technically have to go any lower. Just give me 1 sec, guys. Someone is at my door. I'm back. Hello. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, what was I saying? So, we inverse this fair value gap here. Yeah, we're back to it now. We inverse this fair value gap here. Then we continue up after inversing this fair value gap. We take the ERL, fail to respect the IRL, and then continue to the upside. It's literally as simple as that. If we respected this fair value gap, then you could have expected price to continue down during the distribution and then just have like a distribution to the downside. But we didn't. We reversed and inversed this fair value gap and then continued to the upside. Literally simple as that, guys. Now, looking at GJ, it looks like we may be pushing down slightly, I think. There you are. So we failed that. It's not really looking the best anymore, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's probably better to just walk away from this. We're kind of just, clutching at straw here. I'd say it's probably better to just sit this one out. We can see how it goes. We can observe, see how it goes. Don't FOMO into this trade. That's one thing I'd say, guys. Don't FOMO into this. I definitely would recommend waiting for that proper setup. Waiting for price to fill this gap in the same candle that it comes up. Tell you what, we'll see how this candle closes. We've got 2.5 minutes left. We're going to see how this candle closes. If this candle closes how it is now, without filling this gap and stuff like that, then we are going to leave it here. But it looks like we might be pushing down. But back to Bitcoin, back to what I was saying is, we are literally pushing up. Now, this could obviously be off the back of news. I think this move started, I don't know, it might not be the back of news. But we are pushing straight up. Exactly how I said we would, guys. What did I say? We take ERL, come to IRL, invert IRL, and then continue up, or respect IRL and continue down. I said that, then it happened. I spoke it into existence. But yeah, what's going on gold? Not much really. We just took ERL on gold. Okay, look at this, right? Okay, we got this imbalance right here. It looks like we're disrespecting it already, but if we close disrespecting this imbalance on the 1 hour, we will continue down to the next form of liquidity, which can be this low over here or this low over here as well. I'll leave this on the chart. Our next stream will come back. Oh yeah, also this is how the trade played out, by the way, guys. This was yesterday's trade. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Well, yeah, obviously it was a win. The GOAT, you know what I'm saying. Let me just right, so we got this liquidity here, which has been took. It looks like that on the GJ might be coming down a little bit, but looks like we took this liquidity up here, yeah. Came to this imbalance, respected this imbalance. Now we're coming down to this IRL. We're inversing this IRL. We're calling it an inverse fair value gap, an IFVG. If we close like this, we will continue down to the next form of liquidity, which can obviously be here, but it probably won't just reverse here. If it doesn't inverse that fair value gap, we will continue down to another low, which is probably this one over here, or even this one all the way down here. So we got that set up. I'm going to leave this on the charts and see how it plays out for gold. Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying, it's doing its thing. We have obviously got this imbalance right here, which is another obstacle. If we inverse this, then we will continue up again to this liquidity, potentially to this one up here as well. We'll see how it goes. But what's GJ saying? GJ has come back down. It looks like it's... Ooh, here we go. We've got 10 seconds left. I think we are inside the fair value gap, though. We haven't even filled the imbalance. We need to come to this little box here, guys. If we're going to fill the imbalance, we basically need to just fill that little gap there. Tell you what, guys, we're going to leave it here, right? If this candle fills the gap and then flips, we will take it. If it doesn't, I'm going to leave it. So we're just going to see, we're just going to leave it, go off stream, see how it plays out. Bitcoin doing its thing as I said it would. We'll see how gold plays out as well. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I've got nothing else to say now. We tried to catch this trade. We tried to catch the setup. It failed. It didn't work out how we wanted it to. We wanted to see a very quick inversion of this fair value gap and then a nice move to the upside. But we, got a little bit of a messy setup here. So we're just going to stay away from this unless we get a very clean candle right now. So yeah, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time for the same stream, 2:30 p.m. GMT. Same time as always. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Don't take any FOMO trades. Like the stream. Join the free Discord. Follow my Instagram. Comment